Hey guys, we're here with Ty Lopez, and for those of you who don't know who Ty is an entrepreneur, an investor, a philanthropist, an advisor, and he's got a book club with over 1 million people following him, and not only does he have over 1 billion views on YouTube, but he has, more importantly, over 450 million minutes watched on his YouTube views. So it's great to be here with you, and let's dive a little bit deeper into sort of your quick background on where you got started, because I know you have a really interesting story, and how you got to where you're at today, and then we'll go from there.
So I'm from Long Beach, where you're from. Born there, single mom. My dad was actually in prison in Long Beach. There's an island called Terminal Island. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but it's a little island outside of Long Beach. And so I grew up around, single mom, and didn't really learn much about business or being an entrepreneur. Went through the school system. I learned what the California state bird was and stuff like that. But once I got out of high school, I had a choice course going to college, and there's that poem, Robert Frost. There was a fork in the woods, two paths in the woods, and you took the path less tread upon, and that made all the difference. Instead of going to college, I'm not totally against college, but what I did, I went and did an apprenticeship for 2 years with this guy named Joel Salatin on a farm in the middle of nowhere, Swope, Virginia. And it was my first mentor, really began to train me. I launched my first business, made 12 grand in 1 year. Luckily, it's been all uphill after that 12 grand. But that was cool, and then I took that money, that profit, and I started traveling the world, meeting mentors, trying to find out the shortcuts. And I always tell people, I'm like, look, everybody you meet will become a millionaire by age 180. That's the problem. We run out of years because our learning curve is too short. So most of them, I lived with the Amish for 2.5 years. I started a nightclub, got in the nightclub business. I got in wealth management. I worked for the biggest corporation in the world for a little while. I just experimented, kind of like a mad scientist. And out of a lot of experiments, when you're going to get big results. And little by little, some experiments fail, some win. You start to get enough wins, creates a little tidal wave effect. And so now my current experiment is here in Beverly Hills. Now I'm doing a lot of stuff, social media stuff, doing a lot of investing, getting ready to start like a show kind of like Shark Tank. Mark Cuban was here the other day. I won't compete with you, Mark. Don't get mad at me. It's getting more of a Snapchat one. But, yeah. So is that...
That's perfect, brother. That's a great answer. And one of the things that I love, and it was like a paradigm shift for me when it comes, because I love reading books, is your concept and idea behind reading a book a day. So expand on that. What is your concept? Why do you read a book a day? Because there's so many people that are like, oh, he reads a book a day. And it's like, when I heard you talk about it, I was like, oh, that's actually a genius way to look at it.
Right. We'll put it this way. Rich people read. Everything else is bullshit. Mark my words. I interview a lot of badasses come through my house. And I ask all of them. And without, like Mark Cuban was just here, we were playing basketball. He reads 2 hours a day. He didn't talk about it that much. Warren Buffett reads 800 pages a day. Do the math on that. I'm way behind with my lame book a day stuff. He's been doing 800 pages a day since he started Berkshire Hathaway in the 1960s. And it made him $70 billion, and it made him happy, and he does what he loves. Will Smith, I got to hang out with. I posted a little thing, and my favorite quote of Will Smith's said, to be badass, you have to do 2 things. One, you have to run. The second, you have to read. You run because when you run long enough, your lungs feel like they're going to explode. And if you can push through that and keep running, you'll be able to push through any obstacle. And the reason he said reading, he said because a lot of smart people have gone ahead of you, and they've already been through whatever problems you're experiencing. So instead of learning from your own mistakes, you can learn from theirs. That's what Warren Buffett says. He says, it's true that you only learn from mistakes, but they don't have to be yours. That's the biggest flaw that I see people, or biggest mistake I see people making, whether they're entrepreneurs or just employees or single moms or whatever you might be, if you try to do the learning curve all with your own experience, you will run out of life. You'll be 140 before you have a lot of money. You'll be 140 before you figure out how to read people, keep the good ones, get rid of the bad ones. You'll be 140 before you figure out how to diet. I'm not even diet, how to stay fit, man. Most people, they become fit when it's too late. I live here in Beverly Hills. There's a lot of 90-year-old dudes rolling around in Ferraris. And I always said, I don't want to be a 90. By the time you're 90, you don't care about Ferraris. 90, you should be hanging out with your grandkids, Yeah. You're going to like a Ferrari when you're 20, 30, or 40. But the learning pattern curve that most people are on, it's just, the curve is so long out there that I'm like, bro, I always say the biggest curse, if you had an enemy and you wanted to curse them, okay? And let's exclude health curses or death, okay? Assuming you couldn't do those. I know the best curse ever. I would just say, everything you try to do will take you 9 times longer than it should. This is like hell on earth for me. Somebody goes, I'm going to start a business. Well, the average person can make this successful in 3 years. You're going to do it 9 times slower. So 27 years from now, you'll have a successful business.
Nobody would do it.
Yeah, and then what would be the best blessing if you have kids or friends, or even we want to give a blessing to yourself? Best blessing you could ever say is everything you put your hand to, you'll be 9 times faster. Because I play chess. You can see my little chess thing over there. Twice a week, one of the top chess players in the world comes here, and I play against them, train against them, and life is like speed chess, not regular chess. In regular chess, you can take a long time for a move, but in real life, just think about Netflix. I always think about Netflix. It's one of the most powerful businesses ever built, at least right now, in terms of how many people use Netflix. You have, I forget what it is, 40, 50 million people paying them 10, 20 bucks a month or 10, 15 bucks a month. It's a crazy business. And it's very simple. And anybody could have done it. If you're watching this and you're over 20, you or someone around you, your parents, could have come up with that idea. It's not a genius. You go, would you rather have to go get movies at a store like Blockbuster used to be, or you want them delivered to you either by mail or streaming right in your phone? I mean, it's a no-brainer. And what Reed Hastings did, the founder of Netflix, was he was faster than other people. Somebody else would have come up with it. Mark Zuckerberg was faster to build Facebook. If Mark Zuckerberg lived in a vacuum and the world all revolved around him, he could have taken another 10 years and no one else would have built one. But he realized, someone else is going to beat me to this. So you have to be quick. And if you don't read, I love it because I'll always beat you. That's what I say, people. I don't mean that in a cocky way. I'm just do the math.
Yeah.